Hey everybody, my name is King Quad. I hope you're having an amazing day. Now today we're here with some more Multiversus tier list making, and today I want to go over very quickly, right? I don't want to make this video too long. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I just want to go over all of the best and worst matchups against a Garnet main. I am, of course, a Garnet main. I've played against a lot of different, high and low tier people. I am the top 100 Garnet mains. I am ranked number 95. So I do have a lot of experience with Garnet. I have played ever since the closed beta. And ever since then, constantly non-stop pumping out a lot of Garnet content. Guys are liking the content, be sure to let me know. I'll be more happy to provide it. And of course, subscribe if you are new to join the Aztec Empire. We just hit 2,000 a couple of days ago, 2,000 subscribers. So I want to say thank you guys. It means so much to me, and we are constantly ever growing in our empire. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. And let's get straight into this. I want y'all to keep in mind that this is my opinion 100%, so don't take this as factual information. Someone's gonna go out there and be like, oh, I disagree, one character should have been moved from blah 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 blah. Whatever it may be, my opinion will probably be 100% against yours in one way or another. So just take this with a grain of salt. This isn't me definitely speaking for every Garnet main in the past, present, and future, right? This is just my opinion. Like I said, top 100 as Garnet in 1v1s, and I've been climbing the 2v2s. I think I'm top like 3,000, which it's not that big of a deal, but I have some experience with both. This is specifically for 1v1s though, just because I feel like 1v1s is way better to gauge, and of course this is after the season 1 fixes. I'm doing this on a 5-point scale, so extremely hard or super difficult to go against. This is hard, which is kind of it's harder to go against, but not super hard. This is neutral. I don't have a feeling it's not super easy or super difficult to go against them. This is easy. This is super easy to go against Garnet, and then extremely easy, like you're gonna win if you're playing Garnet, right? Like I said, perspective of Garnet. So is it super hard to go against this person while you're playing Garnet, or is it super easy to go against this person while playing as Garnet? Right? Try to make that not as confusing as possible. Let's begin. Right off the bat, Batman. Batman has great area control in all regards. He has projectiles, he has a tethered grapple, or also known as his grappling hook, which is super good for recovery as well, but more importantly, can grab you out of the air and knock you back. Since Garnet is one of the heavier opponents, she will get knocked back dealt to her serious amounts. He is super quick. He's the quickest base level character in the game, so if he's not using any perks, he's still gonna probably outspeed you. I always use 3 perks, which is of course 1 for projectile speed, which is make it rain dog, which increases your projectile speed by 20%. I will use speed force assist, which increases your base movement speed overall increased, and as well as in unison, I'll pair that with the in a single bound perk, which does increase your jump speed, which is up in the air. I think it's increased speed acceleration is what it calls it, but it's basically just jumping speed. It's super good. I love all of those, and with those perks I do perform extremely well with a lot of different areas, movement being the main one, but Batman's he's faster, right? He's super strong up in the air, down on the ground he's super good as well. He's overall just super dominant. He's going to be one of the best and most well-rounded characters in this entire game, so I definitely say that he's one of the harder to go against. And I'd say he's probably the hardest to go against. Continuing on, I would say it's definitely going to be Bugs Bunny. Now, Bugs Bunny is super good up in the air, especially, and since Garnet is a horizontal bruiser, majority of the time he's going to be able to combo you up in the air, and he will maintain the area control. He can also secure his landing down onto the ground with his safe, which is probably the biggest thing I would say. No pun intended. But when he throws it on the ground, it'll smack you out of the air, and he'll drop kick it towards you, or he'll do his uppercut move towards you, and he can perform some great area control, but majority of the time they're going to use it for getting you up in the air. He can no longer spawn 2 rockets, which I definitely think is good for going against Garnet, but at the same time you can't catch it in your projectile singing move, which is your I believe it's called Stronger Than You. So that, I mean, it's going to deal some damage if it hits you. It's going to do some knockback as well. It is super crazy in the 110s, 120 damage. It will be able to ring you out 100%. But down on the ground, I would say you're going to be able to combo him. That's going to be your biggest, try to get him down on the ground and fight him. He's still going to be able to do super good against you, but just don't get up in the air. You'll be fine. Continuing on, Tom and Jerry, I'd say, is the next extremely hard one, and probably the last extremely hard character to go against. He's not super hard compared to Batman or Bugs, but he still does have a big problem in the fact that he is Tom and Jerry. to the biggest thing is the fact that he is a 2-in-1 character. So when he's throwing Jerry, or when Jerry's using his bottle cap move, or he's flinging the tennis balls back at you, or even the dynamite sticks, you know, it's going to be pretty hard to go against. He is pretty overwhelming just because he is a 2-in-1 character. But as long as you get rid of Jerry, you prioritize Jerry first, and you go after Tom second, you'll have a good time, right? You'll be able to combo them. I'd say that's just the biggest thing, is going after Jerry first, getting him out of there. Going against Tom, you'll be able to fight him a little better. Going into the hard category, I would definitely say Finn is up there along with Arya Stark. I'm going to put them at the same time. They are both sword fighters. They do have a longer range. They both have lunging, teleporting moves. They do pretty good up in the air and down on the ground equally, right? The only thing that puts Finn against Arya, say, is his backpack move. And down on the ground, he has a lot of good moves that are just overall better for comboing. He has a lot of good moves like the dashing forward and like the high five move where he smacks you, or even when he lunges with his sword at you and smacks you around. You know, if it's powered up, it's going to do a lot of damage. He does have that one teleporting move that when you get in the higher tier of characters, you're going to see them using that a lot more. And his backpack move is super good for securing up top screen ring outs, right? But overall, I'd say the main thing is just you have projectiles. He doesn't really have projectiles. As long as you're using projectiles to your advantage, you will be able to combo against him. You will be able to definitely get him down onto the ground and then combo him. I would definitely say is your safest bet for a lot of these fighters. But as long as you're doing that, you know, you'll be fine. Arya Stark is a little different, but she does not have I'd say nearly as good moves. She does still have a lot of good moves just because she is a sword expert. So her teleporting moves, her face steal where she'll bait you in, that does do a lot of damage if you let it. She could combo you, and they did make it after this patch super easy to combo with Arya. So I definitely do think that she is going to be one of the higher tier characters just because she is harder to go against if she knows how to combo. But I would say, you know, you're going to out damage her. She is one of the lighter characters in this game. I'd say probably top 3 lightest. Probably second. No, I'd say, yeah, top 3 lightest, I'd say. Might be second. But she's super easy. She does take a lot of damage. She does take a lot of knockbacks. You just got to be careful. And as long as you know how to get her down onto the ground, you'll be fine. But up in the air, she does deal a lot of damage, and her combos are insane. Next up is going to be Jake. Now, I feel like Jake is pretty easy to go against in some regards, but majority of the time, he's going to be spamming a lot of moves that could be really frustrating. I understand a lot of the lower tier Garnets do have a super hard struggle against him just because it can be overwhelming, right? His skateboard move does deal a lot of damage. I think it's like 30. It's probably like 25 after the patch. And a lot of the stuff like his horse running move can be used great for recovery. The snake Jake is what I like to call it, which is his recovery move where he just stretches his body out. A lot of those moves are going to be pretty good for recovery, but he's pretty slow. He's a little sluggish, and as long as you're using projectiles, which is, like I said, very similar to Finn, probably your biggest strong suit against him, you'll be able to find, you know, your balance in it. Next up is Superman. If you don't know what you're doing, Superman is the most overwhelming tank in the game just because he is a good half and half. He's not too tanky to where he can't move, but he's not too quick to where he'll just get launched off, right? He's a good in-between character, probably the most well-rounded tank in the game, I'd say probably. Maybe. We'll see about that. But overall, you know, his grab moves are good. If they're up in the air, they're going to be spamming their I-beam, which is good for down-on-the-ground control. He's super good in a lot of regards, but the main thing is just learning how to play around that. His uppercut move that he's going to use to dash forward and uppercut you, that's super good for his recovery, as well as blocking your recovery, right? If you're trying to get back to the map and you're in like the middle part of the screen, he's gonna hit you out and he's gonna ring you out. My main fix to that is either playing super close to the bottom of the ledge to where you're hiding under it almost, because you can't curve it, right? So either play super low or play super high to where he can't, but that's more risky just because he can ring you at the top of the screen. That's a lot more risky, right? Chances are he's not going to curve it around the ledge. So as long as you're just playing around the ledge accordingly, you'll be fine against him. Next up, I would say Shaggy. Now, Shaggy is probably the better of the two bruisers, him and Garnet between them, just because I feel like he's more well-rounded. He plays like a Smash character. He's super good. He can be quick. His uppercuts, his kicks, his upward, it's like a cannon spike, you know. It can be really good. but it's just a matter of playing against him, right? He doesn't have any projectiles other than his sandwich, and he does have a charging up key move where he does charge up and he can deal more damage depending on how charged up he is. But if he's not using that a lot, you can get your stacks in, you can deal projectiles. It's just a matter of finding your common ground. With a lot of these characters, it's going to be the same way. Projectiles is probably going to be your biggest strong suit, though. Continuing on into the neutral category, I would say it's going to be these two. Now, I'd say they're kind of similar in the regards that they're tanky, but him especially. Now, this man is a tank. Don't let him fool you. Don't let his cute face, his little heart in the middle of his reindeer horns, you know, oh my god, it's so cute. His antlers, oh, it's a heart. Bro, don't be fooled by it, right? He is terrifying to go against. He has great area control. A lot of people haven't played against a lot of rain dogs, so you're probably going to be confused, but he is extremely difficult to go against if they know what they're doing. I swear to God, I've played against one of them, and I can almost guarantee you that they were probably top 5 rain dogs in the world. They were insane. They were using projectiles. I lost. I got double stocked by him. It was crazy. The projectiles are super good. He does have one super special, unique ability that allows him to ignite the ground as long as he uses one of his projectiles. I think it's his fireball, but don't quote me on that. So they can be really good, right? Majority of the time, you're probably not going to be matching up against the rain dog, so you're probably going to be confused. So just keep this in mind, right? With experience in the higher tier opponents, he's difficult to go against. He really is. Wonder Woman up next. She is another tank, but she is a speed tank, right? She is super mobile. She has a lot of shield bashes. She has her shield move where she could just negate any damage, which is going to be really good in a lot of different areas. But against Garnet, I would say the main thing is just make sure you're not in range of her lasso. So I'd say play diagonally, so jump up in the air and, you know, quick fall and try to get a aerial hit off of her to start off your combo, just to try to close off distance especially, or get her up in the air and try to shoot her with your rocket fist, right? That's your main two options, I would say. As long as you're using one of those two, you'll be fine. She's a little easier the more you play against her. It just takes experience, right? Continuing on, I'd say Velma. Now, Velma in the easy category is kind of mixed, right? I feel like she is harder to go against if she knows what she's doing. But I feel like everyone after watching Evo was like, oh my god, did you see her in Evo? The best Velma player knows what he's doing and can easily clap you. Yes, bro, yes. That is true. The easiest Velma player. The best Velma player, right? But if you're not the best Velma player, if you weren't in Evo, you're probably not going to be able to do that good with Velma, right? And I know, right? I know everyone's still going to make that, oh, but they were in Evo. Did you see them in Evo? The best, you know, Taz player was in Evo and he dominated. Yeah, the best Taz player. You're not the best Taz player. And you're probably not going to run into the best Taz player in this entire, you know, while you're playing, right? If you're not even in the top higher tier, don't even comment that. Don't even be like, oh, well, the best player. Yeah, it's the best ranked player. The best Velma player that you're going to run into is probably not going to be top 100, top 300, top 500 as Velma. Majority of the time, they try to spam their detective beam, or they're trying to throw the cop car at you. It's not going to do that much, right? You're going to be standing there. It's going to be pretty awkward. You mash out of it. She is a lot lighter. She's a little heavier now, actually, after the patch for Season 1. But, I mean, they increased it by, I think, like 3 weight. So other than that, I mean, it's not that serious, right? You're going to be able to deal damage against her. She is going to go launching pretty early on, and if she's going to try to recover, it's essentially a free stock. If you know how to use your rocket fist to block people from recovering, you're going to knock her out. She has no recoveries, and I mean, overall, you know, just calm down, you know, just calm down. Continuing on, I would say the next is Harley Quinn. Now, she is, I believe, the lightest character in the game. And I know a lot of people are probably looking at me sideways like, oh my god, but she has her combos. If you really just take the time to look at her combo damage, if she hits you on for like 30-40 seconds where she's doing her combos, you're probably going to take like 30 damage at the most, right? Which is crazy. And yes, if she does that 5 times in a row, yes, it's going to deal some damage. But what is that? 2.5 minutes of her just comboing that over and over and over. You're not going to get comboed straight for 2.5 minutes, bro. It's okay, I promise. As long as you know how to combo against her, you know how to play against her, just use your projectiles, get up close and personal, deal your damage, do your combos. As long as you know how to do your combos, it's going to be extremely easy to go against. I promise you it is. Now, the next one, I would say is Steven. And honestly, you could honestly make this change right here. Yeah, I'm gonna put him right here. I feel like it's more confident to put him right there. It makes more sense, right? He's kind of eh. What he usually does when I'm playing against them is they'll make a 90 degrees between you and him, so you have to go all the way around his shields to get to him. He'll put a sideways shield and an upward shield. He'll plant down Watermelon Steven and make sure it grows to get that 2-on-1 thing. And unlike Tom and Jerry, it's actually a technical AI that's playing as the Watermelon Steven. So if they're berating you both back to back with it, it's going to be pretty hard to go against. But I'd say majority of the time, the main fix to that, since Watermelon Steven does start off as higher damage, if you're using your upward clap or you're using your rocket fist, you know, you're going to be able to get him out of there pretty easily. Your upward air is also a great move for knockback. So if you're using that against Watermelon Steven, you'll probably ring him out within 3 to 4 hits. Focus on main Steven. He doesn't have a lot of defense. He does have his bubble, which it is pretty easy to ledge guard with. But majority of the time you're going against a Steven, they're probably not going to rely on that, right? So his speed is pretty good as well. As long as you focus on Watermelon Steven, getting your projectiles into Steven's face, learning how to combo, you'll be fine. Pretty similar to Harley Quinn. Now going on to the extremely easy, I am putting Iron Giant. And I know everyone's going to be like, oh my god, this is where I'm clicking off the video. Bro, just hear me out, right? Everyone was fretting over his control grab, right? His command grab. His command grab was super good. He would take you to the ledge and then he would cannonball you down, which would instantly kill you, right? A lot of people were complaining about that. They did fix that in season 1. They did reduce that to where his downward cannonball spike, it does have a lot of less damage dealt, but it only hits you once. So you're not going to get hit multiple times as it usually was. He is no longer that broken. And he has the biggest hitbox. He is the biggest tank. Anything that you do against him, you're going to hit it. I have so many videos of me fighting Iron Giants. And majority of the time, they probably won't even kill me once. I'll probably end the game with like 80 to 90 damage dealt the entire game. And meanwhile, I double stocked him, right? He is so big. And any combo that you do, even if you just pick up Garnet, you can probably full combo him to at least 50 damage, right? Including your projectiles, including everything. It's just because he's so extremely big that if you know how to play against him, I mean, it's going to be super good. I can't remember the last time I actually lost against an Iron Giant. And especially now in Season 1, I have not lost against a single Iron Giant. And that is because his command grab was the one thing that they relied on. Now that you have to actually use your skill with the Iron Giant, you know, it's a lot harder to. Next up, it's Taz. Now, I have a lot of extreme, you know, kind of up and downs with Taz. I feel like Taz is not really that viable anymore. And it sucks to say because at one point he was pretty good in closed beta. But, you know, I feel like a lot of people just relied on spamming with him. They did try to make him a little better. So with his stacking and his biting moves, you can use it a little better with him. And they made it a little more consistent with him. But other than that, like, I feel like he still kind of struggles in a lot of categories. Anytime I see a Taz, I'm like, oh, this is going to be pretty easy just because he doesn't have projectiles like that. He doesn't have movement speed like that. He's pretty slow. Your combos are going to hit out further. It's going to hit out faster. It's going to hit out stronger. You're going to send him flying a lot early on. So, I mean, majority of the time, you're just going to be able to go against him super easy. And number 1 is Garnet, surprisingly or not. Now, I feel like Garnet is super easy to go against in my opinion. I feel like majority of the time, anytime I'm going against a Garnet, I've not lost against a single Garnet that I could even think of. And in 2v2s, I'm sure I've lost against a couple of Garnets. But in 1v1s, I know her strengths and weaknesses inside out. Now, that might change for y'all. I'd say Garnet's probably going to be the biggest point of contention for a lot of y'all. Someone might put her in extremely hard. Some of y'all might put her in neutral. But for me, who's played her, who I know every single strength and weakness of her, I know exactly how Garnets play. I know exactly how they use projectiles, how they use upward air attacks, down on the ground combos. I mean, anything like that, right? I know how she recovers. I know what she does to recover. I know how to prevent her recovery. So I know her inside and out. Playing her nonstop since closed beta, I understand how to play against her. And the main thing is movement speed. With the perks that I named, I use those for movement speed, and it does make a significant difference. But if you're not using those perks, she's going to be super slow. She's going to be super punishable. And I would say majority of the time, just take advantage of her speed. As long as you're doing that, you're going to have a great time. It's probably the easiest to go against in my opinion. That is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is King Quad. Have an amazing day once again. Thank you guys so much for all the constant support. I really do appreciate it. If you guys have any differences, questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to let me know. Let them down in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to provide my opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new, consider subscribing as I do post content like this today. Post content like this daily. And subscribe today to join the Aztec Empire. Have a great day, y'all. Thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. We just hit that a couple days ago, like 2 days ago. So thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. Have a great day, y'all. And until next time, adios.